Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
We are still talking about this employee volunteer program. And today we're going to actually be looking at an article about this volunteer program, or EVP for short here. Last time we were listening to a conversation between Angela, a manager or the boss of this particular company, and Steve, who was volunteering because he likes the outdoors and maybe he could organize some camping trips for kids or whatever. And, of course, this is a great way to get some experience with, setting up activities and organizing them and being a leader and stuff like that. Although you wouldn't necessarily get paid for it because if you volunteer, you're not supposed to get paid.
That's right. I don't know if it's this case in Taiwan, but in the States, companies that have a really high CSR rating or appeal seem to really be accepted more widely, especially by younger kids and the younger generation, because when you're younger, of course, you're into supporting volunteer programs and stuff. I think it's great, and the more that our corporations can get involved, the less we have to depend on government and taxes and that whole mess, because governments don't really take care of our money very well. So if we can get more corporations doing this out of their own free will, I think it's going to be better for everyone.
Indeed. So let's talk about employee volunteer programs and corporate social responsibility, or CSR, as you just mentioned. We're going to read through the entire contents of our lesson right now, and we'll be right back to discuss it. An employee volunteer program, EVP, is a company's way of getting involved with local communities. Of course, people can volunteer on their own time, but an EVP benefits everyone involved: the community, the employees, and the company itself. It's easy to see how communities benefit. Whether they need extra pairs of hands for a cleanup or construction project, or people to get involved with kids or the elderly, they always profit from assistance. Meanwhile, employees can develop skills and get useful experience, both of which look good on a resume. More importantly, it feels good to volunteer. People also enjoy working for and are more likely to stay with a company that offers these kinds of opportunities. While this is also good for their employers, the main reason for companies to set up an EVP is related to corporate social responsibilities, CSR. CSR refers to any kind of charitable activity that companies take part in. Demonstrating good CSR will boost a company's image. It shows the company cares about people, the environment, and similar causes. Furthermore, good CSR can assist a company financially. Consumers these days are more likely to purchase products from companies that contribute to society in a positive way. One example is clothing company Gap Incorporated's EVP, which works with non-profit organizations around the world. With more and more companies going down this route, it's clear the appeal of EVPs is that they benefit everybody.
So let's get started, guys. One of our vocabulary words is right there in the title. Corporate. Corporate is an adjective that's related to the noun corporation. A corporation is a really big company that sometimes has several smaller companies under its umbrella, you could say.
Okay, well, here's the first paragraph. It sort of introduces the topic for today. An employee volunteer program, or EVP, is a company's way of getting involved with local communities. And we mentioned this last time. Your community, of course, is the immediate area where you live. It could also refer to a special group of people within a society, like the black community in the United States, for example. But in this case, if you participate in an EVP, or employee volunteer program, you can get involved in local communities or get involved with them. You can participate in various charitable activities.
You sure can, which is really great. So people can volunteer on their own time. We'll use this phrase on your own time. For example, maybe your boss comes by your desk and you're actually looking at your Facebook page. Oh, no. Uh-oh, you're in trouble. Your boss might say, hey, look at Facebook on your own time, which means your free time, your time when you're not working. Do something on your own time. But an EVP benefits everyone involved. It benefits the community, the employees who are actually volunteering their time. And it actually helps the company itself because the company gets some good publicity from it. They like to tell everybody, you know, when they do their advertising that they have high corporate social responsibility values. They often do that. Well, it's easy to see how communities benefit. A benefit is some way that you have some sort of advantage, something that helps you. So how do they benefit, Tom?
Yeah, that's a good question. How do they benefit? Let's try to answer that question in the next paragraph here. It says, it's easy to see how communities benefit. Okay, that is a no-brainer there. If people volunteer for the community, of course, it's easy to see how these communities would benefit.
First, though, yep. Tom, let's explain what a no-brainer is.
No-brainer, yeah, that's something you don't really need to think about. It's very obvious. You don't really need to ask people or do research. The answer should be quite obvious.
It's a great slang phrase, and I would say it's N-O-brainer. Brain and ER, no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. Older folks won't say it, but younger people know what it is.
You can tell how young I am because I use that very hip phrase.
Yeah.
But in any case, yes, here, it's easy to see how communities benefit. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
For example, whether they need extra pairs of hands for a cleanup or construction project, or they need people to get involved with kids or the elderly, they always profit from assistance. And here they is referring to people in the community. We've got an example here and a pattern. Whether it's this or it's that, they will all benefit. Okay, so whether this or that, then you always put something after that because you're talking about a range of different things. You might need a pair of hands, which is a person with two hands who can participate in some kind of cleanup project. Maybe they're going to clean up the beach or something, or the street downtown is really dirty. Let's go down and pick up some trash and sweep up the street and stuff like that. Or maybe it's a construction project, a new community band shell in the park for bands to give performances. You could participate in helping with the construction of that. Construction is just the building of something, the process of putting something together, especially if it's some kind of building or large structure.
Yeah, or people get to be involved with kids or the elderly. Both those groups need extra help from the community. And you always benefit or profit from assistance. Profit here is being used as a verb. It just means you get some sort of advantage or benefit from something. So that's something you're able to obtain. They always profit from assistance. Now, assistance is just a word that means some sort of help that you give. Maybe you're helping in the form of giving money or resources or maybe information. Here you're lending or giving a helping hand, which is awesome. Now, meanwhile, or at the same time, employees can also benefit. How do they benefit? Well, they can develop their skills and they can get useful experience that they can later use in life, maybe at work or maybe just in other volunteer projects in the future. Both of these things, skills and experience, can be added to your resume, and that always makes you look good on a work resume. Your employers can look at your resume or your potential employer and say, oh, this is a community-minded person. I like this person. They feel compelled to give service. That's a good thing.
Indeed. So you can list that on your resume and people will read it and go, wow, you're a cool guy. You volunteer to help out in your community. And more importantly, it feels good to volunteer. Indeed, it does do something for your spirit, for your soul, to know that you are helping out in society and you're not just some greedy employee employee working for a company trying to get rich and nothing else there. So yes, indeed, if you feel you can help out your community, it will make you feel like you're a decent human being. And people also enjoy working for a company that offers these kinds of opportunities, or they also enjoy and they're more likely to stay with a company that will offer these kinds of opportunities. So yes, indeed, if you know that the company you're working for offers these opportunities, you will think, hey, this is a pretty cool company. It's not just some greedy company wanting to make a profit. You're probably going to stay with that company. I feel good about working for this company.
Yeah. Notice this last sentence in the second paragraph. It's very interesting the way it's written. People also enjoy working for what? We haven't finished this sentence. So we've got people enjoy working for, and look at the next part, and are more likely to stay with. For and with here are prepositions that will work with a company. So working for a company, likely to stay with a company. This is a correct sentence. The structure is something you don't always see, but it's very, very good to learn how you can use this type of structure when you're writing your sentence. So we just put more into a sentence. You don't have to say people also enjoy working for a company and are more likely to stay with a company. We don't like to repeat words so much in English, so this is a way to get around that. So this is a great thing to do. I love working for a company that cares about the community and wants to reach out and donate time and money to help those who are less fortunate. I was lucky enough in New York to find that kind of company. It was great.
Unfortunately, I've never had that kind of opportunity. Hopefully someday I will. Although I did work for the state government and they had handicapped people working there and I got to interact with them. So I don't know if that counts as volunteering. I'm not quite sure. But in any case, let's move on now to the next paragraph here. It says, while this is also good for their employers, the main reason for companies to set up an EVP is related to corporate social responsibilities, which is abbreviated as CSR. Okay, so yes, indeed, it's good for your employers, but companies also want to do this for themselves because it will give them some good corporate social responsibilities. Okay, what does that mean? Well, CSR, or corporate social responsibilities, refers to any kind of charitable activity that companies take part in. So the activity your company took part in was to help out firefighters who were affected by the events of 9/11. So I guess that makes that company look good.
I wanted to mention something that they don't really talk about here, but if your company pays you for the time that you volunteer, remember we learned in our last program that a company had 6 days of time that they could go and volunteer, but they'd still be paid. That is tax deductible for that company. My company didn't pay us to volunteer, so we just used our own time, but that was fine. We weren't a big corporation. We were a startup management consulting firm, so we were smaller. CSR, it says, refers to, or this is what they're talking about, any kind of charitable activity that companies take part of. Charity or charitable, which is the adjective form of the noun charity. Charitable just means anything you do that's related to helping those in need or those less fortunate. That's charitable work or charitable activities that companies take part in. So, there are lots of different things that a company can profit from when they do this, but one of them is that it will boost a company's image. So if you demonstrate good CSR, it means you show something. You're showing that you have good CSR.
Demonstrate, yeah. Usually that means you show somebody how to use something or how to do something, but this also shows the community at large that, hey, you are a good egg. You are a good apple. You're a good person, a good company. You are doing things for the community, and it's going to boost your company image. Boost here just means to increase. It will help you. It will encourage you to increase something or to improve something. To boost your salary, for example, to get a raise. And it shows the company cares about people, the environment, and similar causes. It shows that you're not just interested in making a big profit and getting really rich, like a lot of companies just seem to want to do these days. So they kind of need to do this to make themselves look kind of good, to make them look kind of human, that they actually care about people and not just profits. They also care about the environment. They don't want to pollute the air and sell people bad oil and stuff like that. And they also want to boost their image in terms of similar causes, helping out society, taking kids for camping trips or whatever.
Yeah, so it's a nice way to improve your company's image, especially if you haven't been known for being a good company in the past. Some companies, they do things that aren't very good for the environment or their communities. And so then they turn around and try to repair their image by doing something good. This is something they can do. Furthermore, here's another reason. Good CSR can assist a company financially. Yeah. Now, one of those ways that is not mentioned here that I just briefly mentioned is that if they do allow their employees to go and take a couple of days off and go volunteer in the community, and then they get paid for those days, like it's a sick day or a vacation day, they can deduct that money they pay their employees on their taxes, which is great because taxes for corporations are pretty high too. But one of the things that they can do to help their company financially is that if they do these things, they get publicity for them, they can then appeal to more consumers that see that they're doing these very, very charitable activities, and the consumers think, oh, I want to support that company. I will buy their products. So sometimes they end up with more sales when they do some of these charitable works. I know when I used to do some consulting work at a pharmaceutical company here in Taiwan, and when they did something that was considered CSR, they would always ask the media to come and report.
Of course!
So people could see that they were a good company. So it helped the people in the community, but it helped them too.
Certainly, they want to get something out of this as well.
Yeah.
So yes, indeed, if the company has done stuff like this, research has probably shown that people are more likely to buy products from such a company than from a company that doesn't do these kinds of things. So they're more likely to purchase those products from companies that contribute to society in a positive way. And one example is clothing company Gap Incorporated's EVP. You know, Gap, those stores are all over the place. This particular organization works with nonprofit organizations around the world. Okay, so they cooperate with them, and with more and more companies going down this route or doing this same sort of thing, it's clear the appeal of EVPs is that they benefit everybody. It's a win-win-win situation for everybody involved.
Yeah, win-win for everybody. That's great. Okay, guys, we're going to listen to our Chinese teacher for a few minutes, and then we'll be back to talk about some of the discussion questions.
Hi everyone, my name is Jenny. 今天我们继续来看这个 TOEIC 的文章。前面呢，我们看完了对话，那接下来我们就谈这个对话的主题。它提的是员工志工服务，还有企业社会责任。好，这两个词汇呢，其实都有简称。一个是 EVP， 另外一个就是 CSR。Corporate Social Responsibility。 好，这个 EVP 跟 CSR 到底是什么？当然它带来的好处又是什么？这就是这一篇文章要探讨的重点。首先我们谈到 EVP， 这个其实就是让公司可以参与当地的社区的一种方式。你可以自己去到外面去做志工，可是当你是用公司的名义来做的时候呢，这其实对员工也好，对社区也好，对公司本身也好，都有好处的。那我们来看一下，这个里面有一个重要的动词 benefit， 这边提到 an EVP benefits everyone involved， 我们就看到这里 benefit 这个动词很有趣，因为呢，我们常说动词往往会把它探讨一个动词的时候会说它是及物呢还是不及物动词。这个字它两个用法都有，它既是及物也是不及物。所以当你要谈像这个地方 EVP benefits everyone， 那就表示它使别人得到好处，它嘉惠每一个人。所以这是及物动词的用法。可是如果它当不及物动词的用法，它本身可以直接表示谁受益 somebody benefit， 那就是他得到好处，他受惠。所以你可以说 a person benefit 表示他受益，也可以说一个计划 benefit people， 那表示让谁得到好处。那这个地方呢，所有参与其中的人都可以得到好处。 Involved 这个字形在这里是一个 PP， 也就是过去分词。如果我们要仔细解释它的话，你也可以说 An EVP benefits everyone who is involved。 当然这样说就很拗口，我们可以直接把 who 去掉， be 动词去掉，然后你只保留过去分词，放在 everyone 后面，就表示参与的每一个人。好，接下来下面这一段呢，我们提到说对社区它来说当然可以知道一定有好处的咯，你只要需要人来帮忙协助，那这些人就是你最好的管道。当然除了这个之外，这一段也提到对员工来说，员工也可以得到好处。什么好处呢？这边看到了，他提到可以 develop skills and get useful experience， 也就是可以发展技能，可以获得有用的经验。但是这个文法上要特别注意的是，在这后面有个逗点，然后 both of which look good on a resume。 这个 both of which 我们看得出来有逗点在前面，这是一个非限定的关系子句。那我们在英文里面 both只是其中一个例子哦，有的时候你看到 all, some, several, one 这种不定代名词，然后后面接 of， 再接冠带，受格的冠带，这种用法要注意哦，它就表示前面说的这两者都怎么样，或是全部都怎么样，或是有一个怎么样。这边就是说这两者呢，其实在你的这个履历表上看起来都相当不错。好，那我们继续来看下面这一段，已经说了哦，这个对社区有好处，对员工有好处，那么对雇主对公司来说呢，当然也有好处，因为他们等于是实践了企业的社会责任，这就是 CSR。 好，那这个 CSR 我们做一下解释。 CSR refers to any kind of charitable activity that companies take part in。 好， refers to 这个片语就表示当你在解释像前面这个 CSR 这个词汇的时候，它指的就是什么，它意思就是什么。那它当然解释的很简单，它说到 CSR 是指公司参与的任何种类的慈善活动。那这个对公司来说，其实它是可以提升公司的形象了。而且呢，很多人一旦对你的公司有好感，他们就会买你的东西，所以对你来说其实是可以加一个赚钱的机会啊。好，那我们谈到说现在的人他们对于这种企业责任社会责任的看法呢，其实很正面的。所以他举了一个例子，举 Gap 这家公司。我们知道这家服饰公司呢，它其实跟世界各地的非营利组织都有合作，而且呢，随着说越来越多的公司也跟着这么做，所以 EVP 呢很明显的发现是它呢吸引到的不但是对每个人来说，对公司来说，对员工来说都很有好处。那这个句型里面要注意到的是 with 这个字的用法。 with 我们晓得它是介系词，但是呢它往往呢会加一个偏语，也就是有一个受词在后面，然后后面再加一个受词补语哦。那表示说随着什么样的状况，附带的情形是如何。以这边提的就是这个越来越多的公司他们也这么做。那这个句型里面的 with 后面受词看到的是 more and more companies， 那后面接的那个 going down this route， 这个 going down this route 就是一个受词补语。当然，当补语的东西你一定要改成分词的形态，所以说这也就是 going 会加 ing 的原因。好，我们今天的文法讲解就到此为止，谢谢大家，下次见。
Okay, we're back, guys. Here are some discussion questions that you can discuss with your classmates to try and practice your English. Here's the first one. What skills do you have that might be useful to a volunteer program, Tom?
Well, I discussed it before. I'm kind of athletic, so I could help people with things like that, outdoor things, hiking and bicycling and maybe playing sports and stuff like that. Also, I think in Taiwan, specifically for us, because we're native speakers of English, we might be able to volunteer our time to teach English.
Yeah.
Maybe to kids in orphanages or to elderly people. My wife participated in a particular program like that for elderly people. She taught them conversational English, and she said it was very rewarding. These people, of course, have life experience and stuff like that, so they know the value of this. They were very good students, and they learned very quickly, so she thought that was just the greatest thing in the world. How about you?
Awesome.
What do you think?
I could do several things. I have been to some retirement homes for the elderly here in Taiwan, and I've performed for them. I've sung for them. I've played the piano. And because some of those folks never get visits from their own family members, it's sad. They are so excited to have company. There was one elderly gentleman who had been a sailor about 60 years ago, and he still had very good English, and he just kept wanting to tell me about all of his adventures when he was a young man. It was kind of nice to feel like you were helping out. So I think all of us have skills. Everybody has a pair of ears. And some of these elderly just want to have someone listen to them.
Yeah, you said company. We're not talking about an actual company there, but just somebody with you. I like the company. I want somebody to keep me company, to be with me, and
be a friend.
Yeah, be a friend. Sometimes people just need somebody to listen to.
Yeah.
If you're a good listener, or if you just have some ears, as Stephanie said, that's good. Here's another question. What do you think of the idea of volunteering overseas in other countries? Would you do it?
I have done it. I am overseas.
Yeah,
but what they're talking
paid now is not really volunteering.
I have been. I've volunteered overseas too as a missionary. So, and as a missionary, I actually went and volunteered at orphanages then too. So, I have done it. I have a friend who went to Tanzania and helped out with some very, very poor communities. I have a friend currently who, she's a professor in Korea, but right now she's building homes for the poor in Cambodia. And she's really had a great experience that way, too. Have you ever done anything like that, Tom?
Not overseas, no. But indeed, the USA has the Peace Corps. That's kind of like volunteering overseas.
That's what my friend went with when she went to Tanzania, the Peace Corps.
I've got a friend working in Burma right now as a volunteer for the Peace Corps. And, of course, I can't really do that now. I'm trying to raise a family and stuff.
You have a daughter. You can't go anywhere.
Yeah, maybe on later, after she goes to college and stuff. Maybe I'll do it then. But in any case, this is a good question that all of you can ask yourselves. So that brings us to the end of our discussion for today. And hopefully you will consider participating in some kind of volunteer activity through your company or on your own. So from all of us here at English Digest, my name is Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.